Hello, everyone, and welcome to the webinar. I'm super excited to have you all here today. We have a ton to get through, so a really good in-depth presentation, and I can't wait to dive into it with you all today. For everyone on this call, thank you for joining. Give yourselves a pat on the back for showing up for your marketing today. I do want to make sure that everyone is able to use the question box feature within the GoToWebinar app. This will essentially be your chat feature for the day. So while you won't be able to chat with other attendees, you can treat that chat feature or that question box feature like your chat, and I'll be able to see the questions or anything you submit into that question box. So why don't you type into that question box, just say hello, tell me where you're calling in from today. I'll call out some of our um, responses here from that question box. One of the beautiful things about these webinars is they bring together people from all different corners of the world. So I just want to get us off on the right foot, see who's calling in and where they're calling in from. So just type into that question box. I'll be able to see it there. For any hand raisers here, we're not necessarily going to do any of the hand raising today. We have some folks already typing in, tons of responses already. We got Shay from Seattle, Washington. Hello. Lexi from Scottsdale, Arizona. Maddie from Minnesota. We have Nathan from Redding, California. Welcome. We have Hannah from Tampa, Florida. Mark from Chattanooga. Laura from Michigan. Wes from Annapolis, Maryland. We have Alyssa from Boise, Idaho. Travis from Toledo, Ohio. Scott from Wyoming. David from Indy. Beautiful. So many answers coming in. I wish I could call you all out. We have some folks calling in from Colorado, from Carlos from Argentina. Wonderful. Some folks from Canada, neighbors to the north there, because I'm over in Boston, Massachusetts, so I'm not far. I wish I could call all of you out. Thank you for participating in that. But again, I just want you to feel comfortable using that question box. And if you notice, there weren't a lot of places that I said more than once. So it's pretty amazing that we're all here for that one common goal of improving our marketing. So just a couple of housekeeping items for today's presentation. Do know that this webinar will be recording. So you'll have the recording in your inbox later today, along with a copy of the slides. You don't have to worry about taking notes or anything like that. So just be sure to check your inbox and materials later today. And part of the reason why I had you chat in on that question box there is I want you to feel comfortable using that question box feature throughout the webinar, and be sure to save your questions for the end. If you've attended any of our webinars, you know we tend to have some really in-depth Q&A sessions. It's kind of a unique opportunity to get me to answer your questions in what feels like a one-on-one setting. So definitely be sure to submit your questions at the end there, and I'll queue you up for that. So for everyone on this call, I just want to get us on the same page as to who Local IQ is. Again, welcome. Some of you already might be familiar or working with Local IQ, and that's great. Some of you might be familiar or working with our sister brands, WordStream and or legacy brand Reach Local, or some of you might be totally new here, and that's wonderful and great too. So welcome everyone. So for everybody on this call, just a reminder that Local IQ is a fully integrated growth marketing platform that helps you get on the right track with an all-in-one digital marketing approach informed by vertical specific data from over 5 million campaigns. So you really can't find that anywhere else. We also have a personalized approach powered by local marketing experts who know your industry and truly care about the success of your business. And we also have lead management assistance with the help of AI, empowered through proprietary AI technology, to help you not only secure leads, but also follow up and nurture those leads over time and get repeat business. So one thing that we're really excited and proud of here at Local IQ is that we are a partner with all the major marketing platforms and advertising platforms. So we're really proud of that. That's not granted to every marketing platform out there. We have to meet a rigorous set of requirements to secure these awards. And as you can see, the stats here speak for themselves. Tons of revenue generated for our customers, tons of hours saved, put back into your day to focus on managing your business. And we just keep growing the amount of leads that we grow for our customers day in and day out. So again, we pride ourselves in being a partner that you can trust. So think of us as almost like an extension of your team when working with us. Again, we have award-winning AI technology that we marry with unparalleled local expertise to give you everything your business needs to thrive and prosper in digital marketing. So again, we have campaign data from over 5 million campaigns and over 1,000 different verticals. So there's no market too niche for us. We've worked with all different types of businesses and all different types of business models. So we're really proud of that. And is an example of some of the things we can help you with, from search ads to display ads to organic approaches too, with SEO and website building, social media marketing, brand amplification, and also taking those leads that you build through those marketing channels that we would help you with here and turning them into customers with AI powered solutions like our customer centered Powered by Dash, which offers you AI powered lead management, SMS messaging, also in-depth reporting and analytics, which I know tends to be one of the most difficult parts of marketing, and also offer you solutions to offer chat to your customers, which is something that over 40% of customers are looking for in websites today. So a little bit more of an example of how that happens. So we drive targeted leads for your business and turn them into sales through our technology. We build a stronger, more visible online presence, and we help you manage every lead with ease in less time by, again, converting those clicks and calls and texts that you would get from your marketing channels and turning them into real leads that you can nurture. So I like to include this slide. I know it feels like a lot of information, but I think this gives you a better, more solid picture or a foundation of what we actually do. So I think this kind of gives a good example of that. So a little bit about me, the person that's been talking to you for the past 10 minutes here. It's wonderful to meet you all. My name is Susie. I'll be your webinar host and facilitator for today. I usually do share my cam so you all can see me. Unfortunately, my webcam is like not working today, so apologies for that. So you'll just have to listen in and look at these beautiful slides that we created. So I wish I could see all of your faces and you could see mine. But with that being said, it's great to meet you all and have you all here with me. I'm a senior content marketing specialist over at LocaliQ, where I write educational content on the WordStream and LocaliQ blogs regarding everything under the digital marketing sun, from SEO to PPC to display ads to email marketing and everything in between. I've covered it. How I got into that role, this role now, was I formerly was a digital marketing consultant over at WordStream, where I was working with folks like many of the people on this call through the day-to-day best practices of marketing on major platforms like Google Ads, Facebook ads, and so on. So I took that real-life experience of coaching people through digital marketing and applied it to the educational content that I create today. A fun fact about me is I'm based in Boston, Massachusetts, which I love, being from New England. I actually just moved almost a year ago now to Salem, Massachusetts. So if anyone is familiar with the lore and history of the Salem witch trials, I lived there and lived through it. We had a super crazy Halloween season this past fall, so it's pretty exciting. You can find me on LinkedIn and Twitter, or X as we call it now. I do share out any sort of like exciting webinars, articles that we do. So if you want to see more of those, stay tuned there. Just one last housekeeping slide here, really important, because I get this question a lot. A lot of the times on these webinars, I get a lot of folks asking, where can we learn more about the topics that we cover here? Where can we learn more about LocaliQ and WordStream? Where can we learn more about the offerings that LocaliQ has for us? So definitely check us out on our websites. Our websites are right here on the screen here, localiq.com and wordstream.com. I will say that everything we cover in these webinars is covered in depth on the blog on those two websites. So if you ever feel like you need a little bit more time with any of the topics, you can check out some of the articles we have on those topics and really sit with it. So I highly recommend doing that. Also, be sure to follow LocaliQ on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, X or Twitter, and YouTube. And then WordStream you can find on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, X or Twitter, and YouTube as well. And really important about the YouTube call out here, again, for folks asking if this will be recorded, it will be recorded, and you can easily find all of our webinar recordings on the LocaliQ and WordStream YouTube channel. So if you want to catch up on this webinar or any of our past webinars that you may have missed, be sure to look up our YouTube. You can just type in WordStream or LocaliQ and find our channel right on YouTube there, and you'll easily find all of our webinar recordings. So there's multiple ways to access this recording later. So if you've attended any of our past webinars, I love to keep folks on their toes. Let me know, type into that chat, what has been your biggest challenge with Google Ads right now? I just want to do a little pulse check, warm us up to today's topic. I'll call out some of the answers then, but out, but just let me know, like, what do you feel like has been your biggest challenge with Google Ads? Um, what are you working towards this year? What did you maybe struggle with last year? I just want to take, again, a quick pulse check here. So I'll call out some of the responses here, and already a ton of responses coming in. So if you haven't let me know, definitely let me know now. A lot of folks are saying quality of leads, definitely understandable. We have some folks saying being seen, Julie called out being seen. Some folks saying no time to management, definitely valid. Jarvis says overspending. That's a common issue too. Courtney says click-through rate. It's definitely driving that. Elizabeth says getting conversions set up and being tracked accurately. Some folks calling out Performance Max return on ad spend. If you're using Performance Max campaigns, I definitely feel for you. It's a newer campaign type. Martha says just keeping up with the trends and everything else in between. Some folks are calling out their specific industries too. If you're in a more volatile industry or an industry that has more ad restrictions, that can be difficult too. We help a lot of folks with that. Anthony says too many headlines are required in responsive ads. We have some solutions for that, which we'll talk about today, but I definitely can understand with that. Mark says keyword changes tied with bidding. There has been a lot of changes to keyword matching behavior. Emma says the quality of AI advertising lacks, definitely fair. Meg just says managing the Google Ads algorithm. So if you've noticed, and I wish I could call out all your answers, thanks for participating in that. If you've noticed, none of those answers that I called out were the same, right? Everybody is coming here with different experiences from a different industry background. No two Google Ads accounts are going to look the same. So while I walk you through some general tips and best practices on how to move forward in Google Ads this year, today, be thinking about how that can apply to your specific situation. So while I will go through some general tips, it definitely will be important to know that, it might change depending on your unique situation, and that's okay. So with that, I'm going to cover what we'll, get into today. So we're going to talk through the biggest Google Ads updates. We'll talk through the top trends and in Google Ads for 2025 and how you can take action. We'll also leave you with some thought starters and that Q&A that I mentioned earlier. So it's no secret that Google Ads has been changing rapidly. So we see that now it's just continuing to grow and evolve in the terms of the small business marketing and advertising space. So over 2/3 of small to mid-sized businesses have PPC campaigns and search ad campaigns running. And many already have a paid search strategy in place, nearly half. And then a lot of internet users will see a Google ad experience through their online experience, almost 100% of them. So people are constantly using Google and seeing Google ads, whether they're on search or they're surfing the web and seeing display ads. So let's talk about what that means for some of the big updates that we've seen this past year. So almost no aspect of the Google Ads platform went untouched when it came to updates in 2024. Between data privacy, AI updates, new tools, it can be difficult to cut through the noise and figure out what's actually important to prepare for. So let's go through the biggest changes here. So we know that we now have the Google Lens. So shopping ads are now in visual search results. So for example, have you ever seen like a cute shoe or a bag? You can now take a photo of that and drop it into Google search. There's multiple ways to visually search. You can search for what you see in the real world by pointing to the camera or, pointing around and seriously just search real time things you're seeing in real life. So a lot more integration between real life shopping and real life shopping experiences and online shopping experiences. And of course, it wouldn't be on Google Ads updates in the past year if we didn't touch on Google AI overviews. So you can reach consumers within a new journey of discovery on search with generative AI. People are in entirely new ways and finding more and helpful answers to complex questions. Ads will now be integrated directly into AI overviews. So search and shopping ads will be relevant to both AI overview content and the user search query and provide new opportunities to engage with potential customers. So people can take action quickly when they learn about things for your business that your business can help with through these new search engine results capabilities. So your search ad can now be more than an offer. It can be an interactive and powered experience, providing personalized recommendations that's a new bar for what a helpful ad can be. So some of these key benefits is, of course, you can unlock ways to express demand. So create an end-to-end experience where customers can share more about what they want through multimodal input. You're able to connect with customers earlier in their journey too. So you can help customers earlier in their decision process by providing information they need at the beginning of their purchase journey. And you can provide tailored recommendations. So you're able to drive more sales with recommendations tailored to the unique needs of customers. So basically, we're just seeing like a little more of like a personalized search experience and a personalized ad experience as well. So we also are seeing more conversational experiences too. You can simply chat with Google AI to get ideas for new text and image creativity in the Google Ads platform. Google will draw from your website and existing assets to help you create ads. So just like Google AI saves time for its employees by servicing advertisers like you all with Google Ads, having your own AI agent can help you save time in day-to-day business operations too. So just like Google AI is ready to engage with you around the clock, customers are demanding the same experience when engaging with your business, which I had alluded to earlier. So having an AI agent like Q's Dash can help with customer conversations, follow up and response to leads instantly, automate campaigns and tasks, and personalize the experience for your customers. So again, half of customers are expecting a chat experience on your website as we speak. So if you don't have that yet, using a solution like Dash can help you with that and help you achieve that so that you're constantly able to support your customers, answer their questions, and personalize their experience with your business. So we've also seen some improvements to lookalike audiences within Google Ads advertising. So lookalike segment audiences are unique to demand gen campaigns, and they allow you to find new audiences similar to your existing customers, but now with lower thresholds and more audience insights. You can use the list of your past purchasers or people on your business email list, or you could also use lists of users who converted on your social media campaigns and more to create these lookalike audiences. So it's basically an audience that Google curates based on a list that you provide them, which helps you have more flexibility, so you're able to find new audiences similar to your existing customers, and now with a lower threshold and minimum required list size from 1,000 to just 100 users. So any folks on the call right now that have kind of a lower threshold for website traffic, typically, I'm looking at you, it used to be that if you wanted to create an audience on Google, you needed like a list of like 1,000 users to create an audience. They lowered that to just 100 users, which is huge. That's going to give a lot more folks, and even more folks on the call now, to have the capability to create a lookalike audience that wasn't previously able to do that. You're also able to get more audience insights with these improved lookalike audiences. So you can get critical insights on your lookalike segments, such as affinity categories and market categories, age, gender, geography, devices, and more. These insights will help you understand campaign performance and inform your decisions for optimization. So another big in there, you're able to just see a little bit deeper into the types of people that are in your lookalike audience and interacting with your ads. So for example, if your lookalike audience has, some folks within in-market categories where they're actively searching for things related to your keywords, or they're in the market for what you're advertising, you'll be able to see that and see how they're interacting with your ads. Pretty cool. And you're also able to kind of test new audiences with this added capability. So take action on these new insights based on, the enhanced reports that you'll be getting to identify brand new high value audiences that you might have not previously explored. For example, an outdoor gear brand that sells stainless steel tumblers might be surprised to find that their lookalike segment is primarily made up of teens and fashionistas, because the tumbler is trending as a new water bottle for school. So that's just one example of how you kind of have to think outside of the box when it comes to your audience, and lookalike audiences and the updates that we've seen with that within the past year can help with that. So of course, a lot of advertisers, and a few folks alluded to it in that pop quiz that I mentioned, you're also able to use Google's AI to create assets for your Google Ads. So reporting can take way too much time when you're exporting performance from each individual channel, collecting that data into sheets and painstakingly messing with the margins of formatting so that you can analyze the numbers correctly. You can also use AI tools to help analyze your social reports to understand what types of social posts are best for your business, suggesting the best times to post, and things like that. So you're basically, what I'm saying here is you're getting all of this insights from social channels like YouTube, for example, and you're able to feed that into, or Google's AI is able to directly pull that to help create assets for you. So another way that you can use Google's AI to create assets for your business. If you all haven't seen yet, we did just announce and publish an article on this, but another big announcement that we saw this year that's rolling out as of this coming month is Google announced that the enhanced CPC bid strategy would be going away. It's getting phased out of most accounts already and is slated to be a thing of the past this coming March 2025. So on the flip side, I see a lot of accounts leveraging manual cost per click bidding, but not actually optimizing it the way it should be. Just like everything else in paid search, set it and forget it isn't really a great idea if you want to see results. So enhanced CPC or eCPC bidding is kind of like a marriage between automated bidding that Google has offered and manual bidding, and enhanced CPC has been around for a long time. And a lot of small business advertisers used eCPC because they weren't necessarily ready to fully give up the manual control of a manual CPC bidding strategy, but for whatever reason, they weren't able to use automated bidded strategies, which I honestly recommend is like the default you should be going for. You want to be using smart automated bidding, but if you can't, maybe you don't have enough historical data for it to perform correctly, or maybe, you just have a set max CPC bid that you want to use, but you want that max CPC bid to be automatically adjusted. That was what enhanced CPC is doing. Now that is going away, so your only options going forward after this coming month, if you are using eCPC, is to either switch to manual bidding, where you're manually managing every single individual bid on your keywords, which honestly, it's not really realistic or something that most businesses can do in today's search advertising space. Manual CPC is obviously like the OG bidding strategy. It's the first one that came around or came about with the evolution of the Google Ads platform, and you're manually editing the bids the max cost per click bid, or how much, the most amount of money that you're willing to offer Google for a click, with that bidding strategy for each individual keyword. So it's a lot to manage and a lot can slip through the cracks. So that's why automated bidding is really, honestly, like, it is really effective no matter your account size. The one thing that I did allude to, though, is you want to have historical data to do that. And you will be put through like a learning phase. There's a lot more we can talk about with automated bidding. And again, we do cover all of this change on the WordStream website, so I highly recommend checking that out. But just a note on that. So that's another big update. So you want to either become more comfortable with automated bidding or be ready to take on manual bidding. So again, with that, one of the last updates seeing with Google Ads is that third-party cookies are here to stay. If anyone has been kind of tuned into Google Ads news over the last few years, they were teasing for a while that they were going to get rid of third-party cookie data. Basically, deprecating third-party cookies is what they were going to do. Now, just a refresh on third-party data versus first-party data. So of course, third-party data is data collected from sites across the web. Data that you don't necessarily own, versus first-party data is data that your company or your business collects itself. It's what your business is able to access and own. So that's the data that you own, and that's what you want to be focusing on. So while Google has backtracked its stance on getting rid of third-party cookies, securing first-party data should still be in your mind because of the value of the direct relationship with your customers with this data and how it can enrich your marketing. So you want to use a first-party data management strategy. So Google Ads Data Manager centralizes all data integrations in one location. You can aggregate first-party data from sources like YouTube, Google Ads, HubSpot, and Shopify to make it more visible and actionable. All right. So I know that was a lot of updates. And I alluded to that. We know that it's no secret 2024 was a bit tumultuous for Google Ads. But now that we're up to date on the recent Google updates, let's check out the top Google Ads trends every advertiser should know for 2025 and how you can take action on them. The first two main ways that Google's automation and will impact your account in 2025 is first through choosing the right strategy that will become the most important thing that you should be focusing on. So machine learning algorithms are continuously getting more complex and nuanced to make automating bidding better and better. But in 2025, it's about making those algorithms work as well as they can for you by giving Google as much information as you can to help maximize performance. So, for example, you want to be practicing routine keyword cleanup. Regularly checking in on your keywords is vital to the health of your Google Ads campaign, of course. And if you don't have time to do this yourself, there are plenty of online solutions out there. For example, LookLikeQ's platform implements cutting edge technology to adjust keywords and negative keywords in your campaigns automatically. So I kind of mentioned this or started talking about this with the bidding update that I was talking about. So if you want to be, I would say most accounts want to be using automated bidding. Um, and with automated bidding comes keyword cleanup constantly. And if you can't keep up with constant keyword cleanup, a solution like Look Like You, where we're adjusting in real time constantly your keywords and your negative keyword list, you don't have to worry about that. So I do think that's like a really valuable thing that I think a lot of people tend to overlook. But if you are in the eCPC world right now and you're like, how do I switch over to a automated bidding strategy? These are a few of your choices. For example, a search ad campaign. Now, your available automated bidding strategies will vary depending on your campaign type. But just a few highlights here. I'll kind of walk through these really quick because I do think this is like just a really important. I cannot stress enough how important automated bidding is, how beneficial it can be, and how helpful it can be to have a tool that to automatically optimize your keyword and negative keyword lists for you. So if you're going that route and you're not sure which bidding strategy is right for you, typically we see things like the maximize conversion bidding, which is if volume of conversions is top priority without and you're willing to sacrifice maybe a bit of budget for that. It's really going to come down to your priorities, right? So for example, we tend to see that the maximize conversions bidding strategy tends to spend a little bit more aggressively because it's kind of telling Google, all right, Google, do whatever you take my budget and bid whatever you need to bid to get me the most conversions possible. So it's going to be focused, of course, on conversions. Now, I think for a lot of businesses, this is where you can get stumped is everybody wants more conversions, right? Easy. It's obviously you would want the maximized conversion strategy off the bat. You would assume that. Now that's not always necessarily true. There's other things that you need to be thinking about and prioritizing. Perhaps maybe if you prioritize click volume, that'll get more users over to your site and then inherently get you more conversions. So for example, the maximize click strategy is saying, hey, Google, take my budget and bid whatever you need to bid to get me the most clicks possible. That tends to be a little bit more of a cost-friendly bidding strategy. Not to say that maximize conversions doesn't work or can't be cost effective. It absolutely can. They're both super effective strategies. So I would say maximize clicks are probably the two most popular. It also depends on things like what you might be used to. So a lot of folks that are coming from a manual bidding background tend to start off in the maximize cost per click bidding world. And that's because it's a lot similar. You can still set a max CPC bid limit with maximize click strategy. The other thing I would say with maximize clicks is I will say every automated bidding strategy you need to be patient with, especially within the first 14 to 30 days, because Google's algorithm is testing different bids to see what's going to be the most optimized bid to continuously set. So you might see a little bit of fluctuation in performance. And if you don't have a lot of historical data, that can throw off the algorithm in that learning phase at first. So that's why I think folks also do tend to go the maximize click route, because historically it didn't necessarily need as much historical data to perform well. What I will say with that though is if you are, let's say you're a seasonal business and you love to start and stop your campaigns all the time, stop doing that because you want to have a always on marketing strategy for reasons like this, right? Google's algorithm is constantly optimizing your ads, knowing when to serve your ads, how to serve your ads, how to bid your ads based on your historical data or what you most recently were doing. So if you are stopping and starting your campaigns all the time, you're adding those gaps in that historical data, and then you're never going to get out of that learning phase. So that's just a little quick tip too. We can go through these strategies more clearly. I could talk about this all day. But it's a little self-explanatory, and like the different options like maximize conversion value, of course, is focused more on your cost per acquisition, cost per action, cost per conversion, whatever you like to call it, but your conversion value. So that's another one that, again, might require some historical data too, but also is based off like the value of a conversion. So you would need to assign actual values to those conversion actions. So that is more commonly found in like an e-commerce setting, and those types of businesses really can thrive with like a target CPA, max conversion value strategy. Target CPA is also a really popular one too. So again, it's going to depend on your campaign too. So you're not always going to see these options, but like for the typical search campaign, this is what you'd say. So moving on here to some more of those AI-powered creative optimizations that we were alluding to earlier. The second way Google's automation will impact accounts in 2025 is via AI-powered creative optimization. Throughout the course of 2024, they released a ton of new features, which we just reviewed, right? So AI can create all of your assets, including text for headlines and descriptions. It can create images and videos with just simple text prompts. You can provide reference images for Google's AI, and you can add ad enhancements for quality and size for optimal placements. Now, if you want more help with using AI for your Google Ads, our new Google Ads AI copy tool, and for all the folks that said in the poll that they were struggling to come up with headlines and descriptions, I'm looking at you for this. And I think a lot of people can relate to this. I've worked with so many businesses that run the same campaigns over time, and they're like, all right, well, there's only so many different ways I can say free consultation or free quote or whatever their like tagline typical offering is. This is for you. Our new Google Ads AI copy tool generates multiple optimized ad headlines and copies in seconds tailored to your audience based on top keywords and historical campaign data. So you can get new ad copy written fast. You can write ad copy for your Google Ads in seconds with AI technology that saves you time and effort. Just copy and paste your new ad copy right into Google Ads from our Google Ads AI copy tool. And that way you're able to run great ads that get more clicks. Our smart AI pulls your keywords, industry, and website information into clickable, conversion-friendly ad copy that you can get into your Google Ads and get it up and running in no time. And the best part, it's free. So check it out on localiq.com under our resource tab next week. It's launching next week. We're so excited. So you all are the first to know. Congratulations. Definitely check it out. I'm super excited for this because, like I said, I've even gone through circles with folks when I was coaching folks through advertising. Like, yeah, you can easily get into a rut with your ad copy. It's so hard to be like, all right, how many different ways or how many more times can I say this, or how many different ways can I say this one offer that I always offer? But it's really important to have this rich and engaging ad copy, and the name of the game now is ad quality over quantity. So an AI copy tool like this can be really beneficial. So something else we want to touch on in this coming year is, of course, privacy, compliance, cookies, and first-party data. We did talk about how third-party cookies are sticking around, but you still want to be prioritizing that first-party data. So in a world of privacy concerns, first-party data will be king, and first-party data is only gained with trust. So for example, generating and using first-party data should still be high on your mind. I did say that earlier, and I just want to reiterate that. So brands should continue to solicit customer data versus via content like quizzes, polls, surveys, lead forms, whatever it may be. You will want to get creative with the value exchanges that make users more willing to share information, like I just mentioned, through things like white papers and so on, and use things like that gated content or even like loyalty programs to get that information and harvest more first-party data for your organization. Remember, the more data you have, the better your outcome for all of these AI-powered ad solutions. So the more information you have in the Google Ads platform itself, the better smart bidding and other AI-powered systems will be able to optimize for you. Even things like, I've noticed a lot of advertisers get like fed up with the recommendations that Google Ads offers. If anyone is comfortable advertising directly in the native Google Ads UI platform or user interface, you know now that the recommendations are literally all across the account. If you're like bopping around in there, you're constantly seeing little like notes from Google or automatically applied suggestions, yada yada yada. All of those like automatically AI powered recommendations are based off the information that you provide. So if you have more first party data to feed into your account, the better those recommendations will become, and the better those automatically applied suggestions will become too. So if you're ever like fed up with that, I would say maybe look at your first party data first. So another way you can maybe use some of those insights, how you're analyzing your data to build lasting relationships with customers through your Google Ads. So the information you gain can help you engage with them better, but also help you to teach those machines or that AI learning how to find new customers. So you can use it to test new audiences, for example. You want to expand your base audience, take advantage of the insights to identify brand new high value audiences that you haven't explored. So for example, one thing that I always reference, I love to tell this story almost like every webinar. If you've attended in the past, you might have known this one, but in the example, and I know we have tons of different industries on, but just in one example, right? Let's say I'm like a B2B software company and I'm looking for decision makers at other businesses and I'm looking to target them. What types of audiences or placements could I apply my ads to get to those folks? You might think off the bat, okay, I want to show, for example, my display ads on all these like industry related topics and industry related pages. But let's face it, when we're all working, and I'm guilty of it too, we're not necessarily consuming content about our work day in and day out. We're thinking about what we're going to cook for dinner that night. We're thinking about planning our weekend plans and what the weather might look like. So we're surfing the web. We're not constantly just like reading articles about software vendors or something like that, you know? So in that case, you want to be targeting maybe some different types of interests or different types of content and different types of audiences to get to those decision makers that, while you think that they might fit into that one set audience, they probably fit into maybe a bit more of a leisurely audience. So that's just one way to think a little bit outside of the box, just a very high level, quick example. But again, just trying to get you thinking here. And it can feel really silly and funny at times. It's kind of like a funky exercise, but I really do tell people to like, it feels weird, but just close your eyes for a second and picture that ideal customer or those ideal audience members in your mind. You know, what do they look like? What do they do for work? What is their lifestyle like? Who do they live with? How old are they? What do they do for fun, for their free time? How much money do they make? Like all of those things can help you uncover new audience segments to try and to test. And Google's AI and that first party data that you are using where you're seeing, you know, who's actually interacting with your ads, which might be quite different from what you originally would expect, can help you, you know, just expand that reach. You also can focus on those best performing assets to improve your return on ad spend or your ROI, your return on investment within Google Ads. So understand how your budget is pacing, looking into which audience segments are responding well, and determining if you're losing impression share or on search and shopping campaigns to competitors. So platforms like Look Like Hues, with this example of our marketing dashboard here, can also help marketers analyze first party data to uncover insights on consumer behavior and preferences without compromising privacy. So we help businesses gather and analyze that first party data. That's so important. And we do, you know, display it and make it accessible in this marketing dashboard, which again, if anyone is currently advertising just, you know, white knuckling it through the Google Ads UI interface with their Google Ads account, they know that Google Ads reports and analytics isn't always the cleanest, isn't always the easiest to read, isn't always the easiest to reference out or to even download and share out with their team. So a marketing dashboard like Look Like Hues can really help with that. So a few of our final kind of thought starters here. Here's how you can keep up with Google Ads and what you need to know. So be sure that you're investing in AI. So you want to be making sure that you're working smarter, not harder when it comes to your Google Ads. And if you're not comfortable with AI, that's okay. Um, but now's the time to become more comfortable with that. And what I'll say there is you also want to just rely on that data. And I know data has been kind of the name of the game within this webinar, but at the end of the day, it will improve your advertising experience. So try to learn more about your customers, use benchmarks and set goals to compare to your industry to help you make data backed marketing decisions. And lastly, if there's one thing that you all take away from this webinar, and I love to say this as like this, it's just really important, is just always, always, always have a backup plan. Be ready to flex your strategy based on how your audience and how your ads are responding to these new Google Ads updates or your newly updated ads. Don't forget to take advantage of free tools too, like our AI copy tool that will be released next week, our keyword tool, and one other tool, which I'm going to touch on in 1 second. But back to my point, you always want to have a backup plan. And I did allude to this a little bit throughout the webinar of like there's been so many times where I've worked with folks that have been advertising for years and they're married to one set strategy and this one campaign type and this one bidding strategy always worked for them. And all of a sudden it's not working. That's totally okay and normal because at the end of the day, the Google Ads landscape is constantly changing and evolving. So if a set strategy, isn't working, you can't just keep trying to hammer away at that one strategy. You need to be open-minded to try new strategies that might benefit you instead. So it's going to be normal to see things that might have worked in the past not work anymore. That's okay. Focus on what you can change or switch or pivot to try something new. With that, we did leave you all, those who did, join us today, with a little bit of homework. So before we switch into the Q&A portion, I do want to just ask everyone, if you did see your little homework assignment when you registered for this, we asked you all to run your Google Ads Grader just to get a quick pulse check of your Google Ads account. So we have a free Google Ads Grader on our website, and I would love to hear from everyone here. How was your experience running that Google Ads Grader? And if you haven't done it yet, I'm going to drop that link in the chat. But go ahead and type into that question box. Did anything surprise you from running the Google Ads Grader? Did you learn anything new about your account? Was there anything that you want to work on? I'll call out some of the answers here, but I just want to get a quick pulse check for those that did the homework assignment of using our free Google Ads account grader tool. What did you find? What did you learn? And if you haven't yet graded your Google Ads account, again, I did drop that chat in there, the link. So let me know what you found, if you found anything interesting. And I'm seeing a ton of responses already coming in already. Some folks saying that they didn't realize how much work their quality score needed. Lauren said it was awesome, so fast. I'm glad to hear it. It is pretty amazing. You can get an instant grade and an instant read on your account. Some folks were saying that, it helped open their eyes to maybe trying some new strategies, new audiences, new demographics. That's totally fair. Tons of other responses coming in of just, it's good to run quick little, pulse checks like that because it opens your eyes to things that you might not necessarily know. Lauren says that she's excited to see what the upgrade suggestions might be for her account. So again, if you're looking for suggestions, you're out of ideas, that can help too. So again, I know a ton of information here, and I mean, I've been in the marketing game for a long time, and even I feel like this is a lot. The hour truly does fly by in these. So if you feel like you have more questions, I'm seeing a lot of questions come in about specific scenarios, specific industries, and so on. I'm going to launch a poll on your screen. So if you're ready to make a bold move to really push your marketing in the right direction this year, take a moment to go ahead and answer that poll that just took over your screen, where you're able to talk with an expert one-on-one at a time after this. You're choosing to get a free assessment with an expert, get your questions answered in a real, truly one-on-one setting. It's definitely just beneficial, again, for the folks that are asking questions about their specific business, their specific industry. I unfortunately won't be able to answer all of those today. So if you want those questions answered, that's why that poll is up. I'm going to leave that poll up for a few minutes here. So that might take over your whole screen. And again, this is just kind of the audio portion with the Q&A section here. So just go ahead and sit back and relax. If you've answered that poll, your job is done. Again, I'm going to leave that up, and we're going to switch into the Q&A portion here for the last 10 minutes or so. If you haven't yet submitted your questions, go ahead and submit those questions now. And I'm going to try and answer as many as I can, and a ton of questions already coming in. So Mark asked a really good question. I love talking about this, so I'll start us off here. How much historical data should you have before you switch to an automated bidding strategy? Great question. So there used to be actual thresholds that Google would discuss in its help articles. However, that was probably back when I was still consulting with businesses, which was more than a few years ago. So with that being said, things have changed since then, and Google has come out and put out in help articles and in articles and clearly clarified that there technically is no minimum data threshold for any of the automating bidding strategies, at least to my knowledge, at least for search off the top of my head. I mean, there might be a few exceptions there. So while you can technically run any automated bidding strategy you want, no matter of the amount of historical data you have, doesn't necessarily mean that's what you want to do. So I would say some people still say there was like, a 15 to 30 conversion count minimum to use certain bidding strategies. I would say it really depends on the bidding strategy and the search campaign, or the campaign type too, and what you're looking to do. So what I would say is, if you're looking to use maximize clicks, don't even worry about it. Maximize clicks all automatic bidding strategies do go over and do go through a learning period. However, the maximize clicks one is going to go through one too, but it tends to perform fine without a lot of historical data, so you might be okay. And again, like search campaigns, for example, might be a little bit slower in collecting data versus like a display campaign, which display runs really hot and fast, where it shows kind of anywhere that you apply your placements to, so you're going to yield a lot of impressions a lot faster. So it's going to depend. And it also depends on like your typical conversion rates too. Like for some businesses that have a longer sales cycle, and depends on what you're tracking too for conversions, 15 to 30 conversions within a 30-day period is like nowhere near what they would normally average. Or some might crush it too. So I'm sorry that it's not a very black and white answer there. But I would say look at the type of strategy you want to use, look at the type of campaign that you're going to apply it to, and then decide from there. And if you have no historical data, that doesn't mean that you can't start with an automated bidding strategy. You just have to set your expectations according to that, the historical data in that learning period. So just know that, yeah, results might be a little shaky for those first 2 weeks or those first 30 days. But after that, once it starts running and collected a little bit data, that's when you can start making some decisions there. So really, it's not even maybe even about data. Sometimes it's more about the amount of time you give it to run. Some folks are asking about lookalike solutions, having functionality for meta paid ads. We absolutely do help with that. So while today's webinar was focused on search ads, we help with everything under the digital marketing sun, so including social ads across all social media platforms. Great question here from Abby. How do you improve your quality score? We have a ton of information on this and a complete guide on how to improve your quality score. So definitely check that out on our websites. However, I will give you a quick answer. And your quality score, which for folks that don't know, that's applied at the keyword level to help Google understand like the value of your ads, and help Google understand like where to place your ads on the search engine results page, for example, if you're running a search ad, and when to match it up to queries. And your quality score is determined by two things: your max cost per click bid, or how much you're willing to offer Google for a click, and your ad relevance and your ad rel and your quality score. And so your quality score is determined by three factors there, which is expected click-through rate, which is how like click-worthy Google is determining your ad to be, and your ad relevance, so how much you're using like keywords in your ads, making your ads relevant to what you're actually offering and to what users are searching for, and your landing page experience. So basically, think of your quality score in the lens of Google, right? Google has a job to do. It needs to show users the best possible results for what they're looking for. So if your ad is really high quality, or if you have a high quality score, you're able to get away with a lower cost per click bid because Google is willing to sacrifice a little bit of that money that it would make from your ad if it means that it's going to show a really great ad to the user. Versus on the opposite end, if you drive up that max cost per click bid, Google, of course, also wants that, click. So it's willing to sacrifice maybe showing maybe a little bit of a lower quality ad in terms to, again, increase the value that it's getting out of your ads as a platform. So that's what determines your quality score, and that all feeds into your ad rank. That's what I was saying, is your ad rank is what's determined by your max cost per click bid, and your quality score. But I would say to improve your quality score, if you're thinking about those three factors, right? Expected click-through rate, landing page experience, and ad relevance. Some of it is a little bit out of your control, right? It's kind of up to Google's determination of how it deems how good your ad experience is, or how it deems how good your ad copy is, or whatever it may be, or your expected click-through rate, right? Like I always say, click-through rate is the ECTR, expected click-through rate aspect of quality score is tough, right? Because it's like, what can you do to adjust like what Google would expect or predict your click-through rate to be? But it means like you want to focus on yielding a generally high click-through rate anyway. So thinking about the quality of your search traffic, refining your keywords, which I talked about, refining your keyword list a lot, reworking your ad copy using that AI ad copy tool can help with your keyword ad quality score too, and that'll help your ad relevance. And then landing page experience. A lot of people forget that you want to be including your keywords on your landing page. You also want to make your landing page easy to navigate. You want it to be fast to load, right? Because your page speed is also going to impact, the overall landing page experience. You want it to be clear in what you want users to do just for your own sake, for your conversion rate optimization, and things like that. So those are just a few things to be thinking about, knowing like what goes into quality score as a start. Great questions here. Let's see, we have a couple more minutes and I wish I could answer all of these. People asking where they find the Google Ads AI copy tool that we are releasing. It's coming out next week, so you can't find it right now. Revisit the the Local IQ website next week, and it will be launched. So I'm really excited for that. Thomas asked, kind of relating back to Mark's question, is it true that you need probably 10 to 15 conversions per month on average per campaign to switch from max clicks to max conversions? No, not necessarily true. It is. I hope I helped answer that earlier when I was talking about Mark's question, Thomas, but that's a good question. No, we cannot assume that anymore because Google has come out and said that they do not require minimum historical data for that, but it just might impact the length of your learning period. William asked, what is a decent click-through rate? This is a great question to land on, and a ton more questions. I wish I could answer all of them. As you guys can tell, I could talk about this all day, but I'll land on this. He asked what a decent click-through rate is. So if anyone on this call is also wondering what should their click-through rate be, what should their cost per click be, their cost per acquisition, their conversion rate, how do you know whether the metrics you're seeing in your campaigns are good or bad? If you don't, you can't look inside your competitors' accounts and see what they're doing. But you can use industry benchmarks, and we do have up-to-date benchmarks that we release biannually. So our Google Ads benchmarks, check them out on the WordStream and Local IQ sites. We have search ads benchmarks that tells you the average click-through rate, the average cost per click, the average cost per acquisition or cost per lead, and the average conversion rate for multiple industries. So I would check that out to find a baseline. So again, there is no right or wrong answer to what a good click-through rate is. It's going to depend on your industry, in your historical data. So I would check out those benchmarks to start to get an idea. And then the other thing too is I would also try to understand like what my priorities are. If I have a low click-through rate, is that okay? Because the few clicks that I am getting are converting at a really high rate. So think about like what your priorities might be too, and how much that metric might actually matter to you. With that, we're right at time. Thank you all for joining. I hope you learned a little bit. I really appreciate you all taking the time hopping on with me. We do these webinars bi-monthly, so we have another one coming up later this month. Stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled for that. I'd love to see you all there. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you.